Shirt Wednesday. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. No. Kayla, it's Blue Shirt Wednesday. That's fine. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. She's wearing blue. No. Kayla, it's Blue Shirt Wednesday. That's fine. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. She's wearing blue. No. Kayla, it's Blue Shirt Wednesday. That's fine. It's Blue Shirt Wednesday. She's wearing blue. Blue Shirt Wednesday. That's fine.
Good seeing you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Hernandez, and district staff. The time is now 6:01 p.m. on this 27th day of March, 2019, and I call the meeting of the Edgewood Independent School District board members to order. I will call the roll. Vice President Frank Espinosa.
Present.
Secretary Stella Camacho.
Here.
Board Member Timothy Payne.
Present.
Board Member Richard Santoyo.
Here.
Board Member Martha Castilla will not be joining us this evening. Board President Roy Soto, I'm here as well. Let the record show that a quorum of the board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Meetings Act. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Texas Pledge.
Reciting the pledge this evening and the Texas Pledge are the students from Memorial High School. If we can please give them a big round of applause. I'd like to introduce to the podium Ms. Pam Reese, who will now introduce the students this evening.
Good evening, board members, members of our school board, Dr. Hernandez, staff, and community. I would like to introduce you to Vincent Belize, Laura Rocha, Victor Rosales. As they come forward, I'd like to share a little bit about them. These are our top 3 leadership students for the next year's junior ROTC positions. I'd also like to share that Victor Rosales and Laura Rocha have been in the LOTC in middle school, moving into the junior ROTC into high school. We're very proud of them. This week, we will be having our junior ROTC awards tomorrow night, and on Saturday, we have our military ball. Of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty. pledge allegiance to one state under God, one
All right, if we can once again thank our students from Memorial High School this evening. So tonight, once again, we continue to highlight our outstanding students and staff with our Leaders of the Pack video series. The individuals recognized this evening exemplify the Pack: professionalism, accountability, and communication. Our Leaders of the Pack this month are a very inspiring and dedicated group of young adults and staff members who are showing us every single day the impossible is possible as long as opportunities exist and we take advantage of them. They demonstrate every single day what it means to serve and support. At this time, I'd like to welcome the staff and students of our Burleson Center for Innovation. This is an exceptional group, and we are so happy to be recognizing them this evening as our Leader of the Pack video series. So if once again, ladies and gentlemen, if we can please give them a big round of applause. Very nice, thank you. And as they make their way, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy our Leaders of the Pack video.
It's important to involve parents in their child's success because it truly does take a village to educate a child. We have teachers that are equipped with the strategies to teach children in their classrooms, but we have to remember that parents also help in the education of the child at home. We offer many opportunities to parents in the community. We have scheduled at least once a month some kind of a professional development for parents, ranging from strategies to deal with behavior issues, to helping children learn to read, children who have dyslexia, for example.
Well, because of where I'm at right now in the 18 Plus program, my passion is to make sure that each student that comes here leaves with some knowledge about employment, about independent living, that they each get every opportunity they have to be able to do the best they can out in the community. In Edgewood, I see the sky's the limit. We have a great director that's obviously putting out new programs. He's always open to new ideas. We're always trying things, and that works for all the students. You know, we're trying to get something for every student, and as long as we keep the doors open and the opportunities are growing, I see special ed growing.
I like what I'm doing in the coffee shop because I like serving coffees in the morning for the staff that works here. And when I'm done doing that in the morning, I help around in the print shop, Cardea Specialties. It makes me feel responsible what I have to do.
I like to print shirts that they give me, and every day I love to like make the designs because every day I learn like how to like measure to make the t-shirts right, so that way it can turn out amazing. I got to experience like new things that I have never seen before, and I got to meet the students here who taught me more than I knew here in the beginning.
I love the designing, the making up of the logos. People ask me, what do you want to do? And I can say, yeah, just come to me and do different things. I even change it, and I love what I do. Yeah, it supports what I want to do. It tries to encourage me to learn. If I make a mistake, I can fix it. Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. I love to design.
How has working in the center helped you grow?
More confident,
What do you like about what you are doing?
playing like teachers, and play like.
I like to water some plants and help people out and teach them how to like take care of their plants, because the plants are their friends and plants are so important for the environment. And also like to see other people try their best and make sure that they stay on task.
Through the use of our department website and social media this year, we've really been able to showcase our student work and their capabilities and what they can do on a daily basis here at Burleson. So in addition to showcasing their work, it's also brought in other visitors into the facility to come to Burleson, see the work that our kids can do, and consider future partnerships for the facility. So the goal of the 18 Plus program is to really work with students in special education who have already graduated from high school and continue to need instruction in independent living skills, employment, and training. So we really hope to make them as independent as possible before they leave our facility, with the goal of being paid employment if possible. If not, it could be like a volunteer setting. It could be another area in the community that students need.
Burleson's always adding more initiatives and innovation, so we hope to partner with any businesses or enterprises out there that also are a good fit for our kids in the community. Our families have been amazing. They're the ones who have been the partnership with us along the way, who've helped with the garden, the painting, a lot of the different things that we do here. We couldn't do any of this without the community, Edgewood, but most importantly our families, who see this as an opportunity, but also an environment that is growing, and it's just such an amazing opportunity that we have. But our families are amazing in how we go about our daily, day-to-day business.
We're going to continue with the superintendent's report. Dr. Hernandez, you have the floor.
Mr. Hinojosa, would you come up to the dais? I think one of our board members has something for you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Soto, board members, and community, we're going to go ahead and move on with the superintendent's report this evening. First of all, I'd like to highlight a couple of people in our district that are doing some great things this evening. And of course, in direct alignment always with our board superintendent goals. One of our goals, our focus this year, has to ensure that all of our activities, whether they be with our people or our finances or our time, are dedicated to a dedicated set of goals. We've spoken about 5 board superintendent goals over the last year. Coming into my 9th month now as superintendent, everything that we do revolve around the 5 goals that you see in front of you. So I'd like to highlight something in each one of these areas. The first part of my presentation tonight has to do with Goal 1, or focus on student success. Last week I had the opportunity and was invited to speak to the chairman of the House committee that is supporting House Bill 3. As you know, right now, our legislators are meeting in Austin. There was a discussion with a few of the superintendents in Bexar County about what House Bill 3 would do for our schools. And I was selected to come in and provide input to the gentleman that you see there in the pink suit there. I'm sure he stands out, I'm sure, in the picture. But that is Representative Huebner out of Houston. He is the chairman of the Committee on Education in the House. And so it was a great opportunity for me to advocate on behalf of Edgewood ISD and the things that we need in our school district. Among them, pre-K. Obviously, our district has had the foresight to fund our all-day pre-K, but of course, the state helps us out with that. Well, we're not going to get upset about it, right? And so that, among also more funding for career and technical education in our coursework, not just in our high school, but also in our middle schools now, so that we can begin a lot of that coursework in earlier grades, but also looking at other things like how we project funding for our early childhood kids in terms of their reading literacy rates. That's a big focus for the state now, and they're looking at actually putting in some real heavy dollars into the early grades as early as 3, not 4, but now 3-year-olds. And so it was a great opportunity for me to advocate on behalf of the school district, and so I wanted to share that with the community. The second thing that I wanted to share with the community, our second goal is to focus on the students and families and community of the district. And so our team put in a proposal to the Texas Association of School Boards, 2 proposals. And every year there are 2 conferences held in September and in the summer, where all school boards from across the state come together and learn as a school board how you can be a better governance body, how do you support the school district. And so our team put in 2 proposals, and they were selected. And so our board president, Mr. Soto, our vice president, Mr. Espinosa, myself, and our chief are going to be presenting on building a stronger governance model through our neighborhood Pláticas. And so if you know anything about our Pláticas, you're going to hear a little bit more about it in a little bit. We've had the pleasure of being invited to people's homes now. I think we're up to 7 homes. Am I right, Ms. Perez-Diaz? And we have actually more homes we're invited. We're having one tomorrow night, and then we're having one next Monday night. And so I believe those neighborhood conversations allow us to better serve and support the people in our school district and our people in our neighborhoods. And so they selected it. We're going to present in Fort Worth, Texas, and in San Antonio, Texas, or here in San Antonio in June. And so that's a big honor for our school district because we get to get in front of other school boards who are coming to learn from our team. And so that's great, I think, good for our school district. And then the second presentation was serving and protecting beyond the uniform, the Edgewood ISD approach. And that is a testament to the work that the men and women are doing in our police department. And so I don't even know if our chief is here because I know he's always checked. There he goes in the back if you don't know our chief. But that's going to be a great presentation that he's going to be doing, myself and our chief of staff, Ms. McCullis, also in the summer. So this is all great in terms of telling our story as a school district. Many times you've heard me say that we need to tell our own story as Edgewood. Not just these activities, but also the activities you just heard about at the Burleson Center. Those are jewels in our school district, and we need to speak more about them to the people outside of Edgewood. And so I wanted to share this in terms of how we support Goal 2. And then in a few minutes, you're going to hear about the Edgewood ISD communication plan. And you just heard me say about telling our own story. So our public information officer is going to give that presentation in a few minutes, so I'll keep going. The second thing also in terms of reaching out to our community, this is a picture of our Women with Vision team. And so these are select few women across our district. And of course, anybody who wants to join, let me just go ahead and do the advertising now. Please join us. But these are matriarchs, as I call them, leaders of their homes, women that are out in the community every day, making sure that their homes are taken care of, but also that their children are getting the best education possible. And so we started that group this year. And what we do at these meetings is we keep our ladies informed about what's happening in the school district. Where's our 5-year plan going in terms of innovation and all sorts of activities. And it's also a good time for them just to get to know the other women in the neighborhoods. And so it's been a real honor for us to lead that effort. Our Director of Strategic Partnerships, Ms. Perez-Diaz, has been leading that effort with Mr. George Garnica. And these are just pictures from that meeting. This last time we were at the press box. Not too many people get up there, but it was one of our ways of showing all the beautiful facilities that we've had and we've invested in the school district. So this is just a group of those ladies. I also wanted to tell you guys about some events that happened in the school district this last week. So if you don't know Rudy Lopez, he's our president of the Thompson Neighborhood Association. And the last weekend, he put together something called Ciclovia. So if you're familiar with Ciclovia, which is the greater San Antonio effort, he put this on just for the west side. So we had a lot of people. For our first year, we had a lot of people just right around in the neighborhood. A couple of our board members fed some of our folks, did burgers, hot dogs, and really get out, get to know your neighbor, get to know the school district, get to know all the services that are provided on the west side. There's a lot of pride on the west side. So it was really awesome to see people just out, our local politicians, but more importantly, our neighborhood folks and people that work in the district too. So Mr. Lopez isn't here, but I did want to highlight him because it takes a lot of work to put these things together. And for those of you that are members in our district, a lot of our district people also supported that effort. So I wanted to highlight his work. And then, of course, you heard me talk about our Plática. And so we had a Plática Monday night at for Gus Garcia Middle School at West Lawn Methodist Church. It was a great conversation with our parents about how do we support and serve you. Here are things that are happening in the school district. And it was really nice to hear from one of our memorial parents how what she tells people is, you may be in a bigger district and you may look at all the flashy things, but I was able to call student services and have them come out to my house because she didn't know something was going. There was a chirp in her house. She didn't know what it was, and so she called student services. And Cindy Trevino's not here tonight. She's our lead there. She called our police chief. They sent over one of our officers, and it turns out she just needed batteries for a smoke detector, but she didn't know. She didn't have batteries, and so that type of service is not something you would get in a lot of schools. And it's something that we need to make sure that we tell our story. So my folks are used to be saying the details matter in everything you do. You don't take the time to think something through, then you're missing opportunities to really gain the trust of our school district, of our folks in our school district and our people in our neighborhood. So I wanted to highlight because that was a great conversation. And also plug our Plática tomorrow night. So tomorrow night I'll be out in the LBJ neighborhood across the street from LBJ at the Bias household. And we're going to be visiting them and listening to them. How do we better serve and support you? So this is now, we'll be up to, I think that's our 10th Plática this year. The goal is to have one in every neighborhood every year because we don't stop serving and supporting. We keep doing it and we get out into the neighborhood. So I wanted to report that to the community. And then, of course, we do have a presentation. I'm going to stop here and ask Mr. McElvain to come up because we do have a new member of the family that we want to introduce to everybody at this time.
Good evening, Mr. Soto, members of the board, Dr. Hernandez, staff and community. I am very excited to introduce to you our new nurse coordinator, Ms. Jennifer Alaniz Mia. So I'll read a little bit of a bio for you and then allow her to go shake your hands as we welcome her to the district. Jennifer Alaniz Mia was born in Abilene, Texas and raised in Mission, Texas in the Rio Grande Valley. She's a mother of two, a 23-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son, and comes from a family of educators. Her father is a retired middle school counselor, and her mother is a retired assistant superintendent of schools. In fact, her mother worked here in Edgewood as the director of federal programs from 1995 to 1997. Jennifer is the eldest of two siblings, and her sister is currently teaching kindergarten at Loma Park Elementary. Jennifer graduated from the University of Texas Pan American in 1994 with her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing degree. She was previously employed as a school nurse at La Jolla Independent School District for 21 years, 2 years in elementary, 12 years in middle school, and 7 years at the high school. She served as Deputy Chief of Operations in Operation Lone Star, a joint project between the Texas Department of State Health Services, local health department, school district, and the Texas State Guard. Operation Lone Star serves an emergency preparedness exercise that prepares the community to respond to man-made or natural disasters. It also provides free medical, dental, vision, and behavioral health care. Jennifer considers herself to be a strong advocate for all children, and especially those with special needs and mental health disorders. She looks forward to working for Edgewood ISD and hopes to strengthen the Health Services Department. Please welcome me in joining Ms. Jennifer Alaniz Mia, our new nurse coordinator to Edgewood ISD.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to working with everyone and leading our Health Services Department. And I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Welcome. So our final item that I'd like to present this evening is about our Goal 5, or our focus on financial stewardship. So I wanted to commend our finance department for some quality customer service that they provided to our principals. So those are all our principals that you see on the picture on the right side. I think we're missing one because she wasn't in place. Dr. Herrera, I see you sitting there. This was an earlier picture we took this year, but really, you saw a video about our leaders of the pack. We have 3 core values in Edgewood ISD that we work hard at. We work hard at being professional, we work hard at being accountable, and we work hard at communicating as best as we can at all times. And so one of my goals is to highlight individuals who demonstrate these 3 qualities. So this year when I got here, I charged Ms. Martinez, she's our Chief Financial Officer, with the question, how do we enhance our principals' understanding of their school budgets every year? That is something that our principals every year get a better understanding of and how they use those budgets. And so she spoke to her department. They provided a very quality session with our principals in terms of how they budget for the next school year. We got a lot of good, positive feedback. And I wanted to just commend Ms. Martinez publicly because I know it takes a leader, it takes a team. And I want to make sure that our principals, as our teachers, are taken care of because they have the hardest jobs in the district. So we start with principals because we know they serve. And so thank you, Ms. Martinez. Thank you to the Financial Services Department. It's also part of our Goal 5. So I wanted to report that as part of my report. That brings me to the end of my report, and I turn it over to our board president.
Thank you. We don't have any presentations this evening. We do have a presentation this evening. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it's part of mine. I apologize, sir. Before I turned it over to you, I should have said that.
Okay.
We do have one presentation this evening as part of my report. Goal 2, focus on students, families, and community. Our public information officer is going to be presenting our marketing plan this evening. So Ms. Calderon Lugo, if you will please come up.
Thank you once again for having me up. Good evening, Board President, members of our school board, Dr. Hernandez, staff, and community. So I am excited to present this communications plan that the department is utilizing to tell our Edgewood ISD story. And so I want to start off with highlighting our vision and our mission statement, which is something that we are reminded of every single day, and we are reminded that this is how we, as a department, can showcase and highlight the staff and the students of Edgewood ISD. What I'm hoping everybody walks away with this evening is understanding the focus of Superintendent Goal 2.2 that Dr. Hernandez has been mentioning this evening. We're going to introduce the team, and we're also going to introduce the phases of this plan. So that's what I'm hoping you walk away with tonight. And so, like I mentioned, Dr. Hernandez shared his 5 superintendent goals for our district. Our focus is Goal 2, focus on students, families, and community. More specifically, the communications plan that will support the branding and marketing of Edgewood ISD. And so this is something that has really been key for us because as we have moved and evolved as a district, we really want to make sure that we rebrand what Edgewood ISD is and what it means to not only those that are here already, but those that could potentially come to be a part of our district. And so this is our focus for Superintendent Goal 2.2. I want to introduce the team that is here with me tonight. I'm very happy that they're here, but this is the team that is making it happen. I have Ms. Donna, who is our department secretary, Gabe Cantu, our communications analyst, Samantha Grubbs, the newest member of the team, our marketing coordinator, Mr. Armando Tiveros, who is our webmaster, and we have Ms. Carissa Valdez, who is our social media and marketing analyst. So this is key because the collaboration between the team members is what really helps in us promoting this plan. So thank you to the team for being here as well. And so what we did with this plan is we basically broke it down into 3 different phases. And so phase 1 has been strengthening the foundation that is Edgewood ISD. And how did we do that? So one of the things that we did, one of the key communication tools that we used to start telling our story were our social media platforms. And we started with social media because that was a very quick and effective way for us to start highlighting things that are happening within our district that we were able to control. So we started with our district Facebook page, but we also went a little bit further with that. We also created pages for our campuses, and not just Facebook, but also Twitter pages. So now our campuses had the ability to tell their story as well, along with Edgewood ISD. With that, we have seen an incredible growth with our social media pages. Now, this began in 2016, where we were at approximately 1,200 followers. Recently, we are almost at 7,000, so we're really proud to see that grow, and every single day we start seeing new followers to our pages. And so this is one element that we began to really focus on in telling our Edgewood ISD story. Another element that we started using more frequently was a newsletter that we share not only with our internal staff, but also our external staff. This was a very key way to start sharing our message, not on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, but every week. So now our newsletter is sent out every week, and we are still looking for ways to better use this newsletter to keep telling our story. But I am very proud to say that this newsletter here recently won Best Digital Newsletter at the TSPRA Awards, which is the Texas State Public Relations Association, which is a statewide event. And so this was held in February, and I'm very happy to announce that we won a gold star for our digital newsletter. And this was for districts, of course, our size with under 10,000 students. And so this is something that we were really proud of because, again, we're looking at that digital content and how we can use, for example, people who are on their mobile phones can still have access to receive this information here. Another area that we've focused on greatly has been the video stories that we're telling us. We saw one here just a little bit ago, which was our Leaders of the Pack. But what and who else do we want to hear their stories? So we started sharing our superintendent messages. We started highlighting our Leaders of the Pack. As I mentioned, we started highlighting activities that are taking place at our campuses. For example, our athletic videos that we post always get a really great promotion and really great feedback when we post those. So we really started to looking to our videos as well to tell our stories. And I'm happy to say that on our YouTube page, our subscribers have increased to almost 600 subscribers, which again, as long as we keep seeing that increase, that to us really indicates that people are following, people are watching, and people are interested in what we're promoting. So the video stories was another element that we continued to build on. The website has been a work in progress because I can tell you that we really started to focus on the information that is being posted on our website. Really started to look at what content are we building, what are we presenting on there, but not only on the district page, but also at our campus pages, because we really have learned with this plan and over these past several years that the two main areas that our families go to visit is our social pages and our website. So we really started investing much more time with what information is being shared on our website. And then also the website, as kind of times change, our website is changing, so we are looking to redesign the current website as well. So we will hopefully soon be looking at another look for what the website looks like. And then lastly, really reestablishing our media relations as an additional support to start telling our story and having them come out and get to learn what is happening in Edgewood ISD and all of the wonderful things that is happening in Edgewood ISD. And we have seen that relationship build and grow, so I'm very proud to say these are the first initial key elements that we really started to utilize a little bit more in depth. So now the second phase of our plan has been building trust again. We have been very aware that Edgewood ISD has gone through some transition here recently, but now that we have really established leadership in place, one of the items that we're really proud of to say is that we have established what has become our district mantra. Dr. Hernandez, you mentioned it earlier, and that is our PAC, the professionalism, accountability, and communication. And so this is something that we, as a department, remind ourselves of every single day with the work that we're doing, but also really pushing what is our PAC. And so that has become a big goal for us in the department. We also have been talking about a lot of innovation that is taking place in Edgewood ISD, and so with that innovation, we also, a new logo, for the innovation piece has been created, and so that way, with our schools of innovation, we also have this logo that can be a part of the innovation. I don't know if many of you know, but we have refreshed our campus logos as well, so this gives it a much more modern look to our campuses, and so we have refreshed those. We continue to be a part of the Go Public campaign. Go Public is just an additional marketing tool that we as school districts support. There's 17 school districts that make up Go Public, And so we continue to work with them to continue to highlight, again, the work that is taking place not only in San Antonio Public Schools, but also with Edgewood ISD. And I will be talking about some highlights that we have with regards to the Go Public here in the later slide. When I started, I mentioned we started using our social media platform as a key tool for telling our story. And so initially it was just getting the information out there, start showing what is happening in our schools. Now what we've really started to look at is the analytics with regards to social media and how we can best learn from those analytics about the posting, the messaging that we're sharing every single day. And so in looking at the analytics for Edgewood ISD, one of the things that we have noticed has definitely been the increased engagement on our social media pages. And so what does that mean? What does increased engagement mean? That means the measurement of our public shares, our likes, the comments that people are sharing on our page. So one of the most popular posts that we have seen here recently, for example, has been one where we featured our Teacher of the Year, Miss Layla Lockett, over at Wren Middle School. This post right here received almost 17,000 shares. Ms. Lockett, I don't know if you're here. I know she was here. You have quite a following. This post right here had approximately 17,000 shares. It had over 250 comments. It had a reach of almost 10,000. So it was incredible what one post did, and it all stemmed from Edgewood ISD. So that's why for the communications department, it's key for us to look at those analytics. Another post that we saw that was really popular was the one that we did where we highlighted our counselors for National Counseling Week, and that was on Twitter, where we also received a lot of great praise for our counseling department. But why is that so key, and why is that so important? Because now when we're posting these items, we are now able to look at, okay, what are the best times to post? When are we noticing that there's users that are most active? So this isn't just about let's just post for the sake of posting. Now we're being very detailed, very specific with the posts that we're doing. And here is just an example of what we have noticed with regards to the most activity. It's between 12 and 8 a.m. So for us, that helps us tremendously to know best times for that post. We also started looking at our demographics for social media. And so one of the key observations has been the age range that we're seeing as far as who is on social. And so we noticed that 32% of our followers on Facebook are between the ages of 25 and 34. On Twitter, it is between the ages of, also I think 25 to 34, I'm sorry. But then we also noticed, we broke that down one step further, and we noticed 74% of the users on Facebook are women. And on Twitter, also women. We have 74% on Facebook, 67% on Twitter. Again, why is that so important? Because that helps us with our messaging. Dr. Hernandez has been talking about our Platicas, our Women with Vision, our teen board. So knowing specifically the best times to post, when are those matriarchs of the family, when are moms on there, when are aunts, tias, abuelitas, whoever it may be, that helps us to, again, be very specific with the type of message that we post, the time that we post it. So again, it's not just about posting for the sake of posting. So we're really proud to see this engagement with our social media platforms. I mentioned Go Public. We continue to be a part of the Go Public campaign, which is an additional marketing tool. Go Public has recently launched these billboards that you will see around town that feature artwork from the different districts, the students of the different districts in San Antonio. These two in particular are featuring artwork from students from our Fine Arts Academy. These two are located, one of them is on Old Highway 90 and 38th Street. The other one is located on Castroville Road. So again, these are billboards that are showcasing the work that is taking place within our school districts. We have representation with Edgewood ISD on these two billboards. We also have Go Public with David. This is a campaign where WOAI is featuring things that are happening in our educational system, our schools taking place in San Antonio. We were able to be featured in January with work that is happening at our Burleson Center that we got a taste of it tonight. So we also had that media coverage for Go Public with David, and then we also had Go Public Night at the Commanders game recently, and we are also going to highlight students from Edgewood ISD with the Via Bus Wraps. I don't know if many of you remember seeing those Via Bus Wraps. Again, that's artwork from students of all over San Antonio, but we have representation with Edgewood ISD on those bus wraps. So again, Go Public is just another tool for us to look at the marketing and promotion and branding of Edgewood ISD. So now phase 3, where are we at? Where are we going? What are some of the goals that we have set for our department? So we definitely want to continue to build a consistent message through all of these platforms. We want to continue to use our email platforms to not only send information with our internal stakeholders, but also external stakeholders. We want to continue to tell our story through our social platforms. Our district events, we're going to continue with those. We mentioned Pláticas, Women with Vision, Teen Board, public meetings, town halls. That's going to continue with Edgewood ISD. Of course, working with our media partners, TV, radio, that's going to continue. But now we have a new platform that we're looking at, and that is our digital marketing platform. One of the first steps that we looked at, one of the things that we were looking at with regards to the digital marketing is really creating a brand. We talk about Edgewood ISD being a brand. Dr. Hernandez has mentioned Edgewood ISD as a brand. So now we are going to look at what does that brand, how are we going to be more protective of that brand? And so we are going to work to create a branding style guide, not only for the department and the district, but all of our campuses as well. And that includes everything from which logos do we use, how do we use the appropriate signage with regards to our press releases. So it just, there's a lot of work that's going to go on with that, and you will definitely be hearing about that as it comes to fruition. We want to continue to highlight not only the schools of Edgewood ISD, but we keep talking about innovation. And so these are just some publications that were created for our families. We have the Brentwood Discovery Night. We have the Discovery Day at Gardendale Elementary School with the partnership with Pre-K4SA. One thing that's really key about these is if you notice, you have the QR code there. So again, we're being very aware of those individuals that prefer to work and kind of live every day with their mobile devices. And so that's what that QR code allows them to get information using those QR codes. But we also distribute these flyers in our businesses. We sent these flyers to our families. We worked with our family engagement department who went out and hung these door hangers. And so again, we're trying to cover all of our bases with regards to how we're promoting Edgewood ISD. We're also looking to roll out an online registration. We know a lot of families really prefer to do things online. So we're looking to see how we can simplify that process for our families. And then, of course, market beyond our district. Again, we're talking about innovation. So how can we be very targeted, very specific with looking at those zip codes, not only within Edgewood ISD, but outside of Edgewood ISD, so we can market to those audiences as well. And so these are just some of the items that we're going to continue to look at to plan. We're talking about looking at Google Analytics, using SMORE 365. And again, it's all about planning. It's all about looking forward, moving forward, and really looking at all of our platforms to say, how can we continue to tell the story that is Edgewood ISD? And so with that, I hope this evening I was able to share with you what that focus is of Superintendent Goal 2.2 and the team that's making it happen, and then talk to you a little bit about the phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So that is it on my part. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Board members?
Questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Calderon, I would like to commend you and your staff for everything you've done here. This is awesome. It just feels so good to see Edgewood in a positive, going strong light, and I appreciate the fact that you've done this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We work hard to do that. Thank you very much.
Very, very impressive presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very impressive.
That concludes the superintendent's report, and we do not have any presentations this evening. So at this time, we move to the consent agenda items. Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I motion to approve the consent agenda items A through P.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Vice President Frank Espinosa seconds. Do we have any discussion?
I would
Yes,
just
ma'am.
a little bit more information on the Thespian Festival competition. How do the students prepare for that? B? For those, is that our fine arts area? Or?
It is. Our kids are going to be going up to Lincoln, Nebraska to practice. Dr. Mackett? Right.
What exactly do
My understanding is that it's like one act play where they go out and compete against other school districts from across the nation, and so our kids will be competing from campuses from across the. I'm not sure if it's across the country, but I do know it's the Midwest is included. But our kids got invited up to Nebraska. Yes, sir.
So the district gets invited to this, or do they compete to get to this point? Thank you.
Good evening, Board President. Okay, I don't have it, but good evening, board members, Superintendent, Dr. Hernandez. I didn't really come prepared to speak, so this is yes. The National Thespian Festival is a accumulation of all of the state thespian festivals. Students do compete. We went to Dallas in November. Last year, when I attended the Dallas trip, there are 7,000 students that compete in Texas to attend the National Thespian Festival. So our area is the hardest area to get the invite to compete at national. So we do have 11 students that did compete. They compete in different areas. They compete in ensemble pieces and also individual monologues. It is a wonderful experience. The students actually stay at the University of Nebraska. They stay in the dorms. They experience the campus. They attend multiple workshops. We get to see amazing productions from across the nation. And probably one of the real highlights is that there are multiple colleges there recruiting students. And I know y'all are familiar with the name Michaela Johnson. She's been an outstanding student. She actually received an offer as a junior last year, immediate acceptance to the University of Nebraska once she finished her senior year. Many of our students who attended the Thespian Festival last year were juniors, and they did follow through with their college applications, with their interviews, and they have all been, I believe at this time, accepted and are receiving financial aid based on connections made at the festival. It is a really unique opportunity.
So is this individual and team competition?
Yes, we have not yet been invited to present an entire play. That's our hope someday to take it to that level. But right now, out of the 11 students, I believe we have 3 monologues, and the others are scenes that they do together. And they actually go in a room in front of a panel of national judges, and we all sit behind the judges and watch them perform, and then they're scored. And at the end, they end up with a rank of 1. It's a little bit like UIL, but you become an acknowledged National Thespian Award winner.
Thank you.
Is this similar to what happened last year over at the Fine Arts, that they go into categories in the test?
Yes, that's what we did attend last year. I think we only took 4 students last year. And so they worked very hard on their to qualify at state this year, and like I said, we're very proud to be able to send 11.
Any other questions, board members?
They have their school shirts ready?
They're ready.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Congratulations. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. time is now 6:48 p.m., and the board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 551.071 and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. The board is now in closed session. reconvene from closed session. The time is now 8:17 p.m., and the board will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session. Board members, do we have any action?
Mr. President, I motion regarding closed session item 7A. I move to approve the superintendent's recommendation regarding the renewal of administrator contracts for the 2019-2020 school year as presented in closed session.
Board members, do we have a second? Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Board member Richard Santoyo seconds. Do we have any discussion? Do we have no discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Do we have any other motions?
Mr. President, regarding closed item 7B, I move to approve the superintendent's recommendation to appoint Mr. Joseph Kipke as the Executive Director of Business and Finance.
Board members, do we have a second? Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Board member Richard Santoyo seconds. Do we have any discussion? We have no discussion. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Regarding
motion. Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Board member Timothy Payne seconds. Do we have any discussion?
I would like to discuss.
Yes,
quickly, sir. I would just like to commend Dr. Hernandez on the work you've done in this short time. We thank you. We appreciate your work. I see it since it's only been 8 months. It's like you've been pregnant for 8 months. You're going on 9 months. You're gonna have a really, really huge explosion of a great school. Thank you.
Board members, do we have any other discussion? If those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.